Hi everybody, I am making a bunny cake today, and this is going to be a quick tutorial on how I put it together, and it's obviously for the Easter weekend, so here it goes. It's simple and easy to do, and I hope you'll follow along and watch and make one of your own. Okay, all right, to make the buttercream we start with 4 sticks of unsalted butter at room temperature, 1 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then go ahead and mix that for about 2 minutes. Okay, now we're going to add 2 pounds of powdered sugar, and you want to just add half in at a time. So I'm going to add my first half of powdered sugar. All right, and now this is 6 tablespoons of milk. You can use milk, heavy cream, or water, and I'll add half of the water or half of the milk. I'm using milk, and then I'll mix real quick. Okay, then you scrape down the side of your bowl, making sure all your powdered sugar is in there. Then go ahead and add the remaining powdered sugar and milk, or water, whatever you chose to use. Like I said, it can be milk, heavy cream, or water. And I'll list all the ingredients below. And then I add my liquid just right on top of that powdered sugar, and then start mixing slow. Okay, so we've finished our buttercream. Here it is, and I'm just been mixing it, just giving it a few mixes. And this is what we're going to be using to obviously fill our cake and frost the outside of the cake. So now we're going to move on to getting all of our buttercream placed inside of our piping bag. I do like to use a piping bag. It's not something you have to do, but for me, it helps me just to work a little bit faster and get it all iced, the cake iced. So I'll do this real quick. Okay, so the cake is out. The cake baked, and after it baked, I gave it about 15 minutes to cool down, wrapped it in plastic. I put it in the freezer so it could be nice and firm. So it's there right now. The first thing we do with the cake is we go ahead and cut the cake in half. So you just kind of look at it and give it your best guess, so where approximately half is. Cut that, and then you decide how you're going to actually make your cake. So I think I'm going to have the bunny, this be the outside of the bunny. So what I'm going to do real quick is just flip the cake over. So this will become the inside of the bunny. And I'll grab my piping bag. I put my buttercream in, and I'll give it a quick piping. Like I said, you don't have to use a piping bag. I usually do, but it's not 100% necessary to do that. I'll take my spatula and just give it a little bit of, just kind of taking off some of the icing. You know, how much icing you put between your layers, of course, is always up to you. I'm making this cake for Easter celebration with my family, and I know that we all kind of like a minimal amount of frosting. So I've taken a little bit off now. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put the flat side against this other cake and kind of get it stacked up there. And now we're about to stand up our cake. And right before I do that, I'm just going to take a little bit of buttercream and put it here on my cake board, so it kind of has a place where it's going to glue onto. Okay, so now I'll take the cake, lift it up, and we're going to stand the cake up. Now, by the way, this cake, I'll just show you this. This is what it looks like. You can see it's not exactly in the center, so I've just moved it over a little bit. It is chilled, so it's nice and easy to work with. If your cake was warm, it's a little bit harder to work with, so just remember that. I like to clean my cake board off too at this point, so that it doesn't have so many crumbs on it. And we are going to ice the cake board and add some coconut to the outside of it as well. By the way, this same shape cake is how you make a purse cake. So we've made several purse cakes, and you do this exact same format. If you want it to be a square cake, then you use a rectangle pan, like a 13 by 9, cut it in half, and it'll be a square shape like this. But anyway, this is the beginning of our bunny cake. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick crumb coat frosting. That's frosting it just to cover all the crumbs. So again, I'm going to use my little bag here just to help me. And I'm going to try not to use too much icing because then I end up having to scrape it all off. Let me just turn my cake here a little bit so you can see the icing. It's going to go on there. Okay, so that's probably good enough on that side. I'll do the same thing on this side. And then I'll start using my spatula now to just kind of smooth all that out and see where we are on icing. You don't need a lot because we're going to have coconut actually goes on the outside of the cake. And so obviously you saw the cake, what it looks like. And so we want it to kind of have enough that the coconut's going to adhere to it, but it doesn't have to be an excessive amount. It's to whatever you like, basically. So I'll finish icing this cake and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so our bunny has a good crumb coat on it. This is a good start to where we want to now carve it. We actually put it in the refrigerator too, just for a few minutes. So now I've got a little line that I've kind of marked where I'm going to cut. So now you're going to cut at a little bit of an angle like this. You're kind of chopping down a little bit. Then you'll take your knife back out and in the front, you'll meet that same line where you just cut. So just give that little piece there. So basically you're going to remove this whole piece here. I'm going to cut a little bit more, okay? And then save that piece because that piece is going to go, oops, it's going to go on the very back here, and it's going to serve as like the little tail. And I can add some little more buttercream to it, or in fact, I might just fold it down a little bit so it kind of looks like a tail. Now we're going to add more buttercream around this, so don't worry. It's going to look better in a minute. I promise. So now I'm just going to cover the cake area where I just carved that out. Just cover it with a little buttercream. And then we'll get started with putting on the coconut. So, you know, it doesn't have to be entirely covered or anything like that because, like I said, the coconut's really the next step. So I'm just going to make sure it has a little bit of buttercream so definitely it can stick on there. Okay. And also I'm going to put a little bit of buttercream here on the cake board because I also have a little bit of coconut that I've tinted green, and that'll go on the cake board too. But first I'm going to add the coconut to the actual bunny, the cake. So let's get going on that and just take away some of that extra buttercream. So this is supposed to look like his head kind of shooting down like this. So this is what it looks like. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got our bunny carved. Now we've got the face. This is the face of the bunny. So now I'm going to start adding, I've got a bowl of coconut, shredded coconut that you just buy from the store. Obviously, it comes in a bag. And I'm going to start putting that on the side of the bunny and just trying to get it to stick on the bunny. I did have a little bit of crusting on my buttercream, so I just dabbed some little bit of water on it just now so that this coconut would stick on it. You can just pick up whatever falls. Anyway, so this is it. The little bit of coconut I'm putting on it is kind of the finishing touches of the cake. And you can see that's why it wasn't super important for the cake to be perfectly iced, because the coconut really is the final coat for the bunny. So, sorry, this is hard to hold this bowl and do this at the same time, but it's going on. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the front of the cake. I still want to leave that indentation though, that little ridge, so I'm going to just kind of clean off some. Just try to make sure my cake is not actually, oops, there's a little lump there. I don't want the cake showing through. I might have to get some buttercream to get that done. Anyway, you just kind of will decide how much you need, and I'm going to take away anything that's extra there. This was the back of the bunny, the little tail. This is how it turned out. Looks like there's a little bit here on this side that needs a little bit. There's some lumps in that coconut, so I'm trying not to use the lumps. Okay, so once I think I've gotten to a good point, I'm going to take off some of the extra coconut, give it a final look and final little pat down there. That's good. You can kind of mold it with your hands if you think anything's not perfectly straight and good. I put a little bit more on the tail because I could see a little bit of the cake showing there. Okay, so now it looks good. I'm gonna consider that good enough since it is just a kid's cake and it will be cute. So now I'm gonna add just a little bit more buttercream to the cake board. I'll grab my buttercream just so I can add my grass there. So I'll add a little bit of buttercream to the outside there. Just quickly just kind of put that down. Yeah, and there is some coconut, obviously, that's going to be on the board as well, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a quick, like I said, just to kind of decorate the board. This would be a great place to actually even have a message there that says Happy Easter or something like that. All right, so just a couple more seconds and then I'll be ready to put my coconut down. Okay, so I thoroughly inspected the cake just to make sure I hadn't missed any areas, and I had missed a few areas. So now we're gonna put this on. This is the coconut that I colored in green food color, and I'll show you in a minute how that was made. But we're gonna go ahead and use that to just go on the cake board, so it kind of looks like he's in a little grassy meadow. And I cleaned off the edge of my cake board, so it gives me a place, obviously, to hold it and put my fingers. So I don't want it right to the edge. I kind of just left a little area open there. It doesn't have to be all covered, but basically it just kind of gives you an area to, like I said, for him to be sitting in. Looks like he's in a little grassy meadow. And also I have some little jelly beans that I bought, and so I'm gonna place those around him as well. In just a minute here. So hopefully I have enough grass to finish the front, or I might have to make some more.
To make the green coconut, I simply added the coconut to a bowl and added green food coloring and mixed it together.
Okay, so this is kind of all that I have right now. So I'm going to spread out some that I added to the sides. That maybe should have started with the front maybe first, but looks good. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just some added detail. Okay, great. So now we're at the point where we're going to be able to finish the bunny, and we're going to finish that by adding some ears. I'm going to put a little bit of buttercream right in the front here where I plan to stick on the ears. So hopefully those will hold on. Now we made these out of some pink chocolate, and we made a little video about that as well, and I'll put that in here too in just a minute to show you how that was made. But it's just a white chocolate that we dyed pink, and that serves as the bunny's ears. And I have a little bit of candy we're going to use for the eyes. Well, that's not really going to work, so I'm actually going to just put a little bit on the back of the eyes there and then stick those on. It's going to go about right there. I've got another one, obviously. Put that on right there. And then with the pink chocolate, I made a little heart, and I'm going to use that for his little nose or a little mouth. I'm not sure which one. Let's see if that sticks on right there. Okay, that's it. That's what our little bunny looks like there. And like I said, now I have these jelly beans that I bought, and we're going to use some of the jelly beans to go around the outside. Just kind of pizzazz them up a little bit. Specifically, probably, let me just use the colorful ones, I guess. And that's it. The bunny cake itself, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's cute, and it's just for fun, you know, especially for the holiday. So I think it's a good little fun cake. This would be really fun to make with kids as well, since a lot of kids like to, you know, this is a cake, like I said, that doesn't have to be perfect. So I think it's a good cake to make with children, family members. So, and if you see anything that doesn't look good, we'll just clean it up a little bit and get rid of that. So it's pretty easy to make. I hope you'll try this yourself. Okay, so this is the finished cake, our little bunny cake. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. It's cute. I think my grandkids will love it. It was fun making it, and look forward to making it again. I hope you'll try to make it. Nora, I challenge you. You need to make one too. See you guys later. Bye.
This is the white chocolate that we used. We melted it, put it into a small parchment bag, and piped it on to the reverse side of the parchment paper. Then we dyed some of the white chocolate a light pink and used that to fill the middle part of the ear. But after we made it, we realized that the ears were too big, and we ended up just using the pink part.